Hey, everybody, welcome to Radio Labyrinth Presents. Joining us this week is an actor we have sort of talked to before. Well, we met him a long time ago on the set of Your Pretty Face is Going to Hell. William Tokarsky is an American character actor known for his recurring role as William the Demon on the Adult Swim series Your Pretty Face is Going to Hell, and as the killer in the cult classic Adult Swim hit Too Many Cooks, which is fantastic. If you haven't seen it, seek it out. His first movie role was in Hunger Games Catching Fire, and from there he's gone on to appear in Anchorman 2, Jumanji, one of our favorites, Lodge 49, and many, many other films and TV shows, including the new Fox series, Welcome to Flatch. So, without further ado, welcome to Radio Labyrinth Presents William Tokarsky. Right. Well, William, thank you for being on the show. I'm Tim, and there's Jeff. You've met us before. God, I forget where it was, the studio over on...
Fulton Industrial.
Yeah, Fulton Industrial. That was a lot of fun.
Oh, Cal has a season 5 coming out.
Oh yeah, animated.
Yeah, animated. I'm going to be in 2 of the episodes. Did the studio work already?
Nice. Any word on when that's coming out?
The word they tell me is soon.
We're all enjoying you right now, and welcome to Flatch. What a funny show.
It's interesting.
Before we get to the series, how did you get into acting, and what did you do before you got bitten by the acting bug here in Atlanta?
I've never been bitten by the acting bug. Both of my children were stage actors at one time or another. I retired in 2009 and moved to where my grandchildren are, south. I live in Noonan, Georgia. And they were filming a lovely little film here with Robert Duvall and Bill Murray called Get Low. It's a great little film. It never got national distribution, but it's a great little film. And I'm just brand new to this, and I'm hanging outside they took an old home and turned it into a funeral parlor. And the van pulls up, in and out. You never see anybody. And the shot was through a screen door where the action was inside the house, and they just had some street. But they had some extras walking up and down the street behind. And I talked to them, and I said, well, shit, that sounds like fun. I'll, check that out. And I started doing extra work. And I was on the set of Hunger Games Catching Fire. And I signed up to do 6 days, I think, as an extra, just a District 13 member in the background. And I got back to lunch one day and picked up my cell phone and looked. And the woman that was casting the extras left me a message that said, you have a speaking line next week with Jennifer Lawrence if you want it.
Nice.
If you want it.
If you want
well,
it.
Well, my initial reaction, someone's got a hold of Rose's phone and is playing a game with me. But it was real. And I did a scene with her. If you remember the movie at all, when she breaks through the crowd to save her boyfriend, Liam, from being pistol whipped by a peacekeeper, I delivered the line, you want to get him killed. That was it. I made $2,400 in 2 days' work. And the treatment was fantastic. I'm in this little honey wagon, which I thought was a Taj Mahal trailer. Production assistant comes, knocks on the door and says, Mr. Tokarsky. I said, yeah. He says, the director's having a breakfast production meeting with Woody and Jennifer if you'd like to join them. Yes. So I joined them. I sat like a mouse in the corner, but I really liked the treatment. I liked being a principal actor. So I just thought I'd pursue it.
What kind of business were you in before you got into acting? Was it something that was comparable, or was it something you never thought this would be something you'd be doing later in life?
I don't know. It could be considered comparable. I used to teach robotics for General Motors. So I had a locked classroom of students who were getting paid to be there to learn something. I'm an electrician by trade. General Motors had a plant over in Doraville, Georgia, and they used a program called Train the Trainer, where they would find skilled electricians and send them to some day courses at the local college and learn how to teach adults. It's called the Train the Trainer program, and they would set up specific training in Detroit, where you would come back, and I had 300 electricians at the plant that worked on these. So basically, I would become an in-house expert, and I would teach. And any time that they had a new model, I would go learn it first and teach it. So that's what I did, and I retired from it. And I have a nice little pension and Social Security, so I'm not desperate. And one of the keys in auditioning for roles is when you step into the room, they can smell the desperation if there's desperation on your part, because most young actors want to eat and have to have a place to live. Where, I mean, I'm okay. I mean, I'm not rich, but I own my house and I own my cars, and you know, I got a little pension and it works just fine. But let me tell you what, acting has really improved my vacations.
When you went to shoot Welcome to Flatch, which is, I believe they shoot at North Carolina, do they put you up in a hotel, or do you stay in a trailer, or is it a day shoot where you go there and come back?
We would do 3 episodes in a block. We would shoot in like a 2-week block. So I would drive up, it's about a 7-hour drive from where I live to Wilmington, put me up in a lovely hotel. The major players, I'm listed in the credits as a co-star. But the guest stars, the people that are in the opening credits, they put them up in condos, and furnished condos where they would stay there for the whole time. Where I just go work 2 weeks, stay in the hotel, go home for a week and a week or two, whatever their schedule was, and then turn around and come back. That was an interesting thing. We first started shooting in March of 2020. I drove up there, checked into the hotel, found a restaurant to go eat that evening. I got a call from the line producer. We're shutting it down. They shot 10 hours the day before, and Fox gave them a 14 episode contract on those 10 hours without me in it. I sincerely, truly believe COVID is what allowed me to do that role, because I was contract just for the pilot. If I'd have gone up there and done the pilot, and you've seen pilots where the network or someone will come back and they'll change actors, they'll change people, drop people, add people. Well, because of COVID, there was like 6 months before we went back and started shooting. Fox said, okay. And so they just never changed anybody. And I was up there on a 6-episode contract, and they seemed to like what I've done. And they give me 6 more episodes. I'm in 12 of the episodes.
That's great.
Nice.
But I think it was me being with Adult Swim. I credit those people because that's where I apprenticed as an actor. I'm not a well-trained actor, and I did a lot. I did like 15 episodes as a principal actor, and probably a bunch more as a background. Like I said, I came out of background work, and I learned from the people at Adult Swim, Casper Kelly and Dave Willis, whom you've had on your show, that you do the first take on book, maybe the second take on book, and after that they open it up for a little improv. Mm-hmm. And you never know what the editor is going to take when they get done. But that's basically what I did at Welcome to Flatch. On the very first episode, spoiler alert, you guys saw the closing at the fireworks. The script said I go run to the outhouse. I I didn't have anybody directing me at the time, and Paul says, just direct yourself, and I'll look at the takes after. So I went over and talked to the cameraman. I says, keep it rolling. So I went into the outhouse and then dropped my drawers and came out with, and anyway, he cracked it up and he loved it. So what the editor finally took was the back end where I was coming out of the outhouse. But,
yeah, that came out of nowhere.
Yeah,
it was hilarious.
Yeah,
that's the idea. What I learned at Adult Swim is you make a conscious effort to steal the scene, and if you can get some humor in it, it works. And so that's what I've done.
That kind of stole the episode. I think that was the hardest laugh that came out of me, just from because I wasn't expecting it for one thing, but it was just very comical.
What's really interesting is I did probably what I consider the best work I ever done. There's a little short called 5 Windows where I play an assassin. It's on YouTube. You can go look it up. It's 5 Windows Cooper Brothers. Cooper Brothers are twin brothers out of Detroit, Michigan, who shortly after Too Many Cooks came out offered me a plane ticket to go up there and do their film, which I did. One of the brothers was going to school at Tisch in New York City, and the other one was going in Columbia in Chicago, and both studying filmmaking. Well, they're both in LA right now working, and one of them was making a sizzle reel, re-editing a sizzle reel for Fox, and ran across that scene as part of the sizzle reel and actually sent it to me long before it made the final cut of the film. So it's for me, it's a matter of networking and making friends, and because I really don't have any talent. The only talent I have is I attract talented filmmakers. I can't remember dialogue, but the people at Flatch have come to accept that. They are willing to work with me to a degree, or they're going to fire me and not have me back for season 2. One of the two, I'm not sure which.
I don't think they can at this point.
You mentioned your role in Too Many Cooks. Now, is that something that people have recognized you from? Have you got recognition on the street from that? Because that's such a huge viral phenomenon, that video.
For a long time, in fact, it still happens. I'll be in a restaurant. I was in a restaurant with my grandson, and a young couple came up to me and says, "Are you?" And I says, "Yeah." And I did a selfie with them. And there's a lot. I have a cult following from Too Many Cooks. And I may have a cult member there on the staff of Welcome to Flatch. The story I tell in most interviews is Welcome to Flatch tried a new type of casting, something that's never done before. Normally, what they do is, like for my role, they normally look for an actor that can play a dim-witted curmudgeon with a slight drinking problem. Well, the people at Flatch, instead of doing that, they just hired a dim-witted curmudgeon with a drinking problem. So my performances are memorable because I'm not really acting. I'm just being myself.
DMZ, and you're credited in that as well. Where was that shot, and how much are you a part of that show?
DMZ, the director was Ava Dunay, and I auditioned for them for Selma, and I auditioned for them for DMZ for a role of old man. So I know most of the people that cast extra work, and I take direction well. I've been married 50 years, so the casting people know me that I'm not trouble as far as being an extra. So normally, if I hear something and I hit them up, they'll book me. So they booked me on DMZ. So I just I'm going to teach a class in how to get a bump as an extra, because all I did was line myself up when she come walking down the street and made eye-to-eye contact with her, and they gave me a line and bumped me. So really, I was background and basically got a bump on it, and I just offer Rosario, she wants to have a game. I run a little poker game kind of thing in the DMZ. I was hoping they would bring me back, and I could come back in a later season. It just depends upon how successful it is.
Was that shot here?
Yeah,
in
it was
Atlanta?
shot downtown Atlanta.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Getting back to Welcome to Flatch, I wondered if you had a chance to see any of the original series that it's based on.
The original series, I have not watched a complete episode, but I just saw a few clips to see what it was, because I really didn't want to be influenced by
Right.
it. Since then, I've seen a little more of my character, and I can see we're different in some degrees. But one of the things is I sort of look like him. So that might be one of the reasons why I was cast. I sort of, Len in England doesn't have the drinking problem that I have in Flatch.
Speaking of drinking, you were great in one of our favorite shows, Lodge 49.
I didn't have a word of dialogue in that, and that was a principal role. It's strange how often I get cast with a beer or a drink in front of me. The people at Dad's Garage in Atlanta have a film coming out called How to Ruin the Holidays. And I really had to act in this one. I play a Trump turd, a Republican. And I'm sorry, no politics in this show. I play a surly senior is my character. I like Dad's Garage. A great deal of the people from Too Many Cooks or from Dad's, so I'm at their beck and call. If they ever need anything, I'm theirs.
Yeah, I think we were talking to Kevin Galise about that when he was on our show a while ago, and they were in the middle of doing the crowdsourcing. So that's great. That it'll be coming out this year, then, I guess.
Yeah, it looks like a great show. Amber Nash is just terrific.
Oh, yeah.
I worked with her before, and I really like her.
Yeah, she's very funny. I loved her on Archer. Is Lucky Yates in this movie also?
Not as far as I know.
Okay.
I just did one day. I was in a bar, and I basically was not a nice guy. But yeah, it was a fun little job.
I was looking at your reel and realized that you were the cab driver in Anchorman 2 with Will Ferrell. Now, was that a day?
You didn't see my reel. You saw my Welcome to William video, which is mostly sarcasm. And I die in that one. That was 2015, I think we did that. But yeah, that's funny. That was a background role. The same lady that bumped me on Hunger Games Catching Fire. And by the way, the Hunger Games Catching Fire scene got cut. It never made the final edit. But I'm still drawing residuals from it, so I'm happy.
Yeah.
Do you do a bunch of shows and the residuals, do they all add up? I know you said that they help with your vacations. I'm just curious how many you need to do to have a good vacation.
The residuals for Jumanji are well over 20,000 right now.
Wow.
You guys did a podcast on The Watchmen and on the episode Fear of Lightning.
Yeah.
Okay. I was in that episode and my heart was broken. You didn't invite me. But that aside, that show was filming here where I live, 5 miles from the house in a little Methodist church. And Tim Blake Nelson was in the scene. And I saw a post looking for a mature couple, husband and wife. And I asked my wife, I said, you want to go meet Tim Blake Nelson? And she said, yeah. So we booked the job, and we're part of an ED support group. Now, it wasn't erectile dysfunction. It was emotional distress. But while we were there, they told us to recite some dialogue, just like 3 day players that I knew that were in the crowd, doing the exact same thing as the extras. So I knew the second AD. I've been hanging around for a while. And I asked him, I said, you guys paying us for this? And they says, no. I said, okay. So we did it, and I saved what paperwork I could and turned it into SAG. And 6 months later, 4 of us extras got bumped to principal for the day on that role. So my wife just got a residual check for that job in the mail today. And it was Saturday, and it was $2.39. Is that the type of residuals you're thinking of?
Yeah.
Blockbusters can be very rewarding, but doing just one episode of a TV show that streams doesn't pay much in the way of residuals.
What are you looking forward to in the future? Are you doing any series work or any film works where you're going to be getting dialogue that you can share with us without getting in trouble?
I signed an NDA, but if you go to my Facebook page, you'll find that I'm in a film that's coming out this year with Peter Dinklage, Glenn Close, and Lord, told you I can't remember much anymore. At any rate, I did a scene where I am a prisoner serving time for murder, and one of the other main actors is my cellmate. I'll let it go at that.
All right,
that'll be out later this year.
Ethan Coen wrote this movie, right? From the Coen brothers?
Yes, as a matter of fact, Ethan wrote it. Yeah. So I didn't tell you anything. You told me, right?
That's a great way to get around it.
That is a good way.
Yes, but at any rate, it was a fun little day. Oh, I'll help you out. It was a fun little day that I had worked with. How's that help you?
Yeah.
So that's the only other thing I've got in the can right now, other than the animated shorts for
Your Pretty
Adult
Face.
Swim, for Your Pretty Faces Going to Hell, and How to Ruin the Holiday with Amber Nash and company.
You can see Welcome to Flatch on the Fox network. You can also watch it on Hulu. I'm somewhat confused. Like, did Hulu just put all of them out? You can watch them all there, or are they
There's
following?
7 on Hulu, and
Okay.
it's 14. So I think it's going to go week to week now.
There are 14 episodes, and I am in 12 of them, or credited with 12 of them. I don't know what the editor decided to do with me. But what's interesting is this show, you said it, it's funny, okay? But what surprises me is it is heartwarming too. And it's developing a rapport with these characters because Paul Feig and Jenny Bix are letting the actors develop the characters so they can become, okay? They are not carbon copies of what the Brits did. And in my case, it's like my drinking problem. They allow me to build upon my strengths, I guess. But so Fox or someone is smart enough to know that you want these people to become your friends and have the relationship with them. And these millennials, the short attention span millennials that like to watch shows like Adult Swim, which are only 11 minutes long, won't hang around long enough. They would much rather binge watch and become, oh yeah, I got these folks, okay? Yeah. So now here I am 7 years old, and streaming is something totally new to me. So they're going to present it weekly. But what you may not be aware of, if you've got cable like me and don't stream, cable normally has on demand where you can watch your favorite shows on demand. Mm-hmm. They took those first 7 episodes of Welcome to Flatch and put them on demand on your cable. So the people that are listening that don't stream but yet have cable TV at home, hit that on demand button on your remote, and those 7 episodes will be there. And episode 6
is the
Rest best. In Peace, Cynthia, is where the critics say the show has come together. The ensemble has developed those working relationships that you as the viewer think you're a part of.
To a couple of your points, William, the character development has been great, especially between Chelsea Holmes and Sam Straley, who play Kelly and Shrub. The two, I would say, maybe main characters, but I guess everybody kind of gets a little equal time. But those are the two that stick out to me, their relationship and how the Kelly character relates to her father, who is sort of doesn't really care about her. And then you have Sean William Scott and Aya Cash and their relationship. It's an interesting show. It doesn't belittle small town life. It doesn't have a mean spirit to it. But it does have enough snark and edge to it to make it something I think that, like you said, millennials and even some Gen Xers who are now the old people can enjoy. It's a really well done show with a lot of care, I think. And I think people need to give it a chance if they haven't watched it yet.
I love it. I have not found a person on that set that doesn't want to put the good of the show forward. Aya Cash is probably the best actor there. Like I said, I'll be honest. I'm old and I can't hear and I can't see and I can't. And I've got a scene with Aya where she's interviewing some guys that are filling in a pothole on the street, and she drops a cue and I deliver a line to her and have some interaction. And I never heard the cue. And the professional that she is, keeping the take running, says, "Hey, Lynn, haven't seen you for a while." There you go. So in other words, what I'm saying is as actors, which is really unusual and in a where people want to compete to be the lead, they all want to help each other. The surprise of that show, the person that's got the breakout, is Crystal Smith, Big Mandy.
Oh, yeah.
She has done nothing except for some YouTube stuff. And she is starting to steal the show. She's really good. I really like her. And she's a nice person.
You can tell that she's going to break out. She's going to break out. She's very funny, and her character has a lot of depth and warmth. I love that character.
Before we let you go, say I saved up $3,000. How could I meet a former Miss Estonia?
You would be able to wire transfer the money. I'm not that good. I need help to be able to transfer the money. I have not met Cynthia yet. Broken heart. I never got a chance to meet Cynthia but so she's now just an urban legend to me.
No spoilers, Jeff, for people who haven't seen it, but you will find out who Cynthia is if you check out episode 6 of Welcome to Flatch,
which you can do on demand right now.
William, thank you for coming on the show. Please keep us updated on things that you have coming up, and you're always welcome back if you'd like to come back. We'd love to have you.
Anytime.
I'd like to do a little Your Pretty Face thing for when the animated episodes come out, and
Yes.
gather up a few people and do an episode just on those animated episodes.
I'm in.
All right.
Great. Awesome. Thank you very much for taking time, and we will talk to you soon.
Thank you much.
Yes.
Please hang up and try again.